Hello, my name is Letitia Knight, and I'll be telling you about my hometown of Sulphur Springs, Texas. I'll tell you some history, some sites of interest, some geography, some demographics, some notable people from Sulphur Springs, and some interstates and highways that run through the area. I'll also tell you about some top employers and about the education system. I'll start by telling you that I lived there from age 3 to age 12 when I moved to Waco. So between the two cities, I lived in each about half my life. Sulphur Springs derives its name from the fact that there were an abundant amount of sulfur springs, in the area. Native American tribes occupied the areas around the springs and used them for their therapeutic value long before the first European American settlers arrived. The settlers also gathered around that area, and the town was developed in the area from the late 1840s. Eli Bibb was one of the first European American settlers, and he ran a store out of his cabin selling staples, whiskey, Permiston beer, and slabs of ginger cake. In 1849, Mr. and Miss Davis moved to the area. Mr. Davis envisioned the spot as a future city. And the residents in 1850 organized the first church, the Methodist Episcopal, and the construction of the church was completed in 1853. At that time, the village was only 441 people. In order to serve the growing group of people, commodities started being brought in from nearby Jefferson, and new stores were established. The village became a city in 1854. When the first post office was established, the name of the city was originally Bright Star, and mail to and from the city was delivered by the Pony Express. On May 18, 1871, the legislature moved the county seat of Hopkins County from Tarrant County to Sulphur Springs. The name Bright Star was removed from the postal directory and became Sulphur Springs. Local government organized slowly. The first known mayor was William Wortham. In 1854, Wortham bought the Texas Star Press and moved to Sulphur Springs, where he, his brother-in-law, and Mr. Davis established the city's first newspaper. In 1857, the city set aside 10 acres for its Bright Star University. The Sulphur Springs District Conference High School was also located on the university's land, and it was established in 1877. In December 1882, the school became known as Central College. It was owned by the Methodist Episcopal Church. It was later renamed Eastman College and Conservatory of Music and Art. Before the year 1900, the college burned down, and the head professor Eastman left the area. The First National Bank of Sulphur Springs received its national charter in 1855. It is now known as City National Bank. In 1857, the area's first steam-powered factory was established by the Bell brothers. In the same year, the Morrow Castle was built, but the builders are still unknown, and it was on North Street. C. Denton was elected to lead the new city government, which was incorporated during the Reconstruction era. During the Civil War, the town lost its charter and had to reincorporate by the state legislature again. The dairy industry was a major component of the local economy from the 1840s through 1995. The Southwest Dairy Museum in the city features artifacts on the history of the dairy industry. The industry began to shrink largely because of declining milk prices, higher labor costs, and large corporations operating industrial-scale dairies. But as of January 2019, Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County were listed number 2 in the state for milk production and have stayed on the list of number 2 for several years. Large industries in the area provide top jobs today include Pinnacle, Ocean Spray, Grocery Supply, Jeld-Wen, Clayton Homes Manufacturing, Flowserve, and others. Sulphur Springs is at the center of Hopkins County, not McLennan County, that's here. Roughly halfway between Dallas and Texarkana. Interstate 30 passes through the south side of the city, and Texas State Highway 154 runs right through the center of Sulphur Springs. The census of 2010, according to the census of 2010, there were 15,449 residents of Sulphur Springs. The racial makeup of the city is 68.4% white, 12.6% African American, 0.4% Native American, 0.5% Asian, 0.03% Pacific Islander, 15.9% Hispanic or Latino, 0.8% other races, and 2.1% 2 or more races. I have a lot of fond memories growing up in Sulphur Springs as a child. I would recommend visiting it because it's a beautiful little city, and it has a lot of rich history, including the courthouse that's built on a square. The streets are made of brick all around the square, and there's little shops in town, and bakeries that you can visit. Like I said, it's a beautiful little town, and I would suggest anyone interested to go and visit it. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation of my hometown of Sulphur Springs, Texas. Thank you so much.